Kia ora e te whānau. Well, here is our pile of loveliness. It's building and building. I'm so happy with the way she's looking. So today, this one is a really easy page build because if you are hanging around with me, you might have already made the shaker tag back in the part that we made, and I'll pop that card up the top for anyone who's interested in that. And then we are literally just quickly making the little thing to hold it onto, popping some embellishment and a background page, and it was a really quick video. So as well as that, I also made this little guy, so he's in the video as well. This doesn't have to be this shaker tag. This could be any tag that you've made that is so beautiful that you don't want to chuck it into a pocket. It could be one that is so heavily embellished with lace and bits and pieces that putting it into a pocket is going to be troublesome. And this is just a little way, and I'm going to show you how to do this so that you can just slide it onto a page. It holds there and it actually becomes the feature of the page. So if you're new here, welcome. This is what we've made, but feel free to jump in at this point. If you are hanging around with me, then lots of these bits and pieces that I have used will be back in your folder for this week, and I will put the link for this whole kit in the description as well. So if you do want to start, all the videos are there, all in order, go for it. It's only paper, right? All right, so without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, my lovelies, here we go, ready to go. So this one is another one of our page backs that we didn't finish, and to be honest, it's so pretty. You could just leave that the way it is, but it's on the back of this one. So I have, just in case, because I'm sure you've got old lined paper that you could collage together, but I did scan this and it is in the folder. I've made it so that it's two A5s on an A4, so you haven't got a blank half of your page. I'm just going to glue that on there. In part 1, part 2, I can't remember which part, I will link it in the description. I did some hand dyeing, and that was the rose from my wedding dress. So I thought I'll put that up there because when I put the shaker on, it just looks a bit bare to me. So I want a little bit of balance, just to somewhere for your eye to start and move down. And you've got the text there, so that's okay, but this area here, so if you can see, I just thought that looks quite cute. Yeah, okay, so this is a really quick page make. Not a lot to do, but you know there's pages like that in journals anyway. So what I've done is I've still got some of this left over from when I used it for one of the background pages, so I'm totally going to use this. And since it's such a quick make and such a quick video, we'll make the specimen slide window out of that as well. This I have just cut so that it is the same width as the tag is, okay, and that will just depend on whatever tag you're using for this. Like I said in the intro, this could just be a really embellished tag that you thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to stuff that in a pocket? It could be your tag that you want to show the whole thing, and I didn't want it to be sitting in a pocket like that, and to be fair, it is a little bit too bulky. So I'm just going to, might keep the green actually, cut this tag top because this is how I did my one with this guy. Now the only problem is I probably should have decided to do this before I put that guy there, because as you can see, he's not the right size. So I'm just going to hand cut that just a little bit bigger. Wish me luck. I'll do that off camera because I'm going to probably do it with a craft knife, and then hopefully it will fit over this guy here. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, I thought I'll just show you this. I couldn't find that exact one, so I've just found one that's slightly bigger, which will be fine. And I am going to pop that guy through there, and I am going to now trace around that with my pen and then cut it out. So there's a solution if you have already done that like me. And hopefully we can just ink anyway. I'm just going to hold that tight, and I might just cut it on the inside of that black line. Ideally, I would have a punch this size, but I don't. I don't have a single hole puncher. And I'm pretty decent with a craft knife, but oh my goodness, cutting circles with a craft knife. Okay, so that's pretty good, to be fair. I can glue that down now, so I'll just quickly put a little bit of ink. And I think I will round those corners. It'll just make it a little bit easier, as it usually does, to put things into a pocket or a belly band. In this case it's going to be a belly band, and all we want to do is glue across here and up around there, and that is our flap that's going to sit in the belly band. So we do want to give it a little bit of structural integrity to hold on to the tag right to each side, but as little as possible. You might wonder, why didn't I just make this as long as the tag? Because we've got writing space on the back of our tag, and I don't want to cover that up. Honestly, if you are new here and you think, oh, I might make a tag and do that, what I would do is I would maybe put this on before you put that on, and then it maybe swings out of the way. You could still write, and then you could still use that to put it into the belly band. Okay, and I'll just clip that. Now we just need to, I wonder if I'll get away with, so I'm just going to quickly go and glue that down, because that's the next step, and you do not need to see me using a glue stick. That will waste everybody's time. I'm just going to leave a little, like push this right to the edge, but just leave space if I can. I might just need to trim that just a little bit. And I've got a pocket there too. And with that pocket there, then I will just sand my wonky cutting off. Okay, now pocket's still there. That should be dry soon. I'm hoping, because my specimen slide I actually did want to be about that big. And if I take any more, our specimen slide is going to be smaller. So, it's alright, it's alright. I'll use some of this instead, and I will pop this in the folder. So, to show an example, you could do the belly band for the tag so that it wraps like that. That's one option. So you just glue here. I would actually washi tape around there. That way you're not going to hit this edge here as you slide it into the pocket, and should make it smoother to get it in there. Or you can just cut one piece of paper, glue, sit down, and that actually holds the pocket closer and firmer to the background, which will in turn hold the tag more securely in place. So that is the one I'm going to do. And there is absolutely, I'm not even measuring this, I'm just thinking, what size do I want my belly band to be? So it looks like it's meant to be on the page, but it's not a feature either. That pretty lady there is from Love Letters and Lace, the collection I'm working on for digitals. So helps fits up the right way, Sara-Lee. So we're just going to put this guy, he's going to go on that side. So what part do I want? I think this part here, rather than that. This blends into the page more. So if we're gluing either side, we are going to need slightly more. So if I go there to be safe, I wonder how much my left-handedness bothers those of you that are not left-handed. My cutting with a craft knife left-handed. Mum always said when I was cutting a pumpkin, because that's the hardest thing for me to do, she was terrified that I was going to cut off my hand. So she'd always say, yeah, I'll do it. So I got out of cutting pumpkins, which was pretty good. Okie dokie. So now what we need to do is, this is the easiest way to get it on the right place in the page. So we are going to slide that up as far as it will go. Make sure we've got an even amount there, because that will make our tag little belly band straight, hopefully. Now another thing I might do is I might just cut down on an angle slightly. That will make it easier to get into the pocket as well. And then I'm going to put glue on these little wings. A decent amount, but not right up to the tag edge, obviously. And then I'm going to decide where I want my tag and place it down. But I quickly want to ink that. And I might also, I know I'm going through glue, forgive me, just to make it look a bit more, because you could, instead of using this, you could use like a little label, and then that would look like it was meant to be on the page too. It doesn't have to be collaged masterboard, it's just what I happen to have around. Okay, you little guy, you pop back up there carefully because you've got glue on you now. And I might actually just take a little bit of that glue off. And that side can only have a little bit. And then I shall move that over. That will just get the tag closer to the edge of the page, which is where I want it. Then I'm just going to put my finger there. I'm going to take my tag out and I'm going to press that down. And let it dry. While we are doing that, I will just quickly glue this little guy on. Now which way were we going to have him? We're going to have, so the chiffon is sticking off the page a bit. So that's got the chiffon down, and then I just need to put a little bit on these little edges. And I might just make this a little bit more jagged. There we go. And then I'll just put something heavy on that just for a little while, just to make sure both of these things are down. And then that guy. And I mean, you're not going to be taking this out very often. I'll just put the corner under, slide that guy down, and because we glued that quite close to the edge. So that's actually not too much of a mission, to be fair, even though I haven't angled those. But if you are struggling, or depending on where you glued, I would just cut a slither down like that and down like that, and that will make it a little bit easier. Okay, let's make our slide. So sometimes for an acetate window I'll go the easy route and I will laminate, and these are awesome little laminating pouch film, so I don't waste a whole sheet. I don't have to cut it up and have a nightmare trying to get it through next time. All I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this guy in half. Where is his half? Feel free to use your scorer. I will trim up if I need to. Just going to trim him so that he is nice and square. Got that lined up on the bottom. Now this can be any size you like, as long as it fits your die cut or your hole punch in it. So there's no rules to this guy. As he stands, and sorry, I've only got my centimetre ruler on me. He's 7 centimetres, so 14 once he's unfolded. And then I made the mistake last time of taking this in this way because I wanted it to be centred. Now, keep in mind with a die cut, you're not going to have to worry about this problem because you can put it wherever you want. But because the gap in here to there, as far as it'll go, is quite small, I'm going to go from the bottom. So, which side? So I'm going to pop him in and move him over because I still want a tab on the end. So how close can I get to the edge? And he's not going to like going through too, but I'm going to make him. And then I've also got two awesome little pieces for popping on a cluster. You think what you could do is you could pop a little bit of muslin on there, a little charm or a key or something in the middle. You've got an automatic cluster. I love these circles. I always keep them. Okay, so I do have just enough edge there. I've got this guy, but look, if I line him up right on the edge, that is going to really cut into that. So what I might do, because my tab punch here is not going to work, if I tab punch this, it's going to cut off my, I'm just going to go take the shape so that I can cut it. Then I'm going to roll myself a line. Then I'm going to cut that guy. Okay. So that helps us hold it together. Now obviously we need our butterflies, and pretty sure we used these last week, so they'll be in the folder. I'll repeat it for you just so that it's easy to find. just use those ones. Oh, actually that's quite a nice colour. Maybe we'll use that one. Is that your partner? No. Okay, so for this we can still glue them together first so that they mirror nicely. For anyone, this is a separate digital, so I'll pop that down the bottom just in case you don't want to do the whole come craft with me. You might just want the butterflies. Now we need to cover this one with acetate, cover that one with acetate. So I'm just going to double side tape all around here, trim, because this is going to be slightly wider than a couple of those edges, so I'll just quickly trim them with my scissors and then I'll pop back. Okay, so double-sided tape on. I've literally just gone square. These little bits here I might just add a little bit of glue, but I don't really trust glue with acetate, to be fair. Okay, now I just need to cut a couple of squares of acetate. Just going to give myself a rough guide and I can cut within that line. This one can come down quite a bit. Just make sure it fits. Great, and I'll just cut another one of those. The page we're going to put into. So I believe this was only 2 episodes ago where we made some little writing space booklets. I did add a little bit of a trim onto there, but that is not going to matter because of how this is. So as you can see, we can still pop that guy on there like that. Now I want this to be completely see-through, so if you remember, we pushed this into from the bottom as far as we could. I just need to make sure that I'm not too far left or right. And for those of you who are wondering, no, my paper punch did not enjoy going through that lace trim. So that was a bit of a mission, and I'm just cleaning up the edges now after I fought with it and it had chewed the page. Give it a quick ink on the inside of the circle. Okay, don't make your life difficult like I did. Put the trim on later, or don't put the trim on there at all. And then all we have to do is make sure that we glue it in the right place, and then we're going to have a little window on the bottom of our page. So I will glue, might just put a little bit of double-sided tape again, so I'll do that off camera. Just in case the glue's not behaving itself. There you go. I haven't been too fussy about it, just to make sure. I'm going to start with one side. Make sure it's lined up with the circle. And glue this side. This is the moment to make sure that you've got no bits of dust. There we go, cute little accent. See-through window. Now you could just leave it there because that's enough of a cute little accent, but you could further decorate it as well with some little label some bits and pieces. Just make sure that none of those labels are heroes and that they're kind of all being covered slightly. The R wouldn't matter. Put them down here, over there. Quite like hanging off and extending the edges a little bit. And maybe just a little bit of texture. Just because this area is quite large compared to the bottom, it kind of looks like there's meant to be something there. Now this will just depend on whatever labels you've got, and you can just use what you want. These are actually, again, from the Letters and Lace, but it's only one tiny little label, so you can just use what you want. Just want to add a couple more bits. And he's really cool there. It's just bringing it down a little bit, and I just want to put that guy there as well. And I just make those out of my scraps of masterboard. So for example, let's just say we've got a strip. I would then roll a line down the middle, but I will just fold it for the purposes of this example. So my folded line would be a rolled line, and then I just go from this corner in, and then from that middle point out, done. And then I do it again down the whole strip, and then I have a whole lot of cute little bunting tag looking things. See, there's my line that I used. Great use for like your long strips that you really don't have anything you can think of doing with them. So I had some postage labels, vintage and antique postage labels, registered mail labels. I can't remember what it was. And I scanned them all and I made them into a digital. Aren't they cool? And then I thought, oh, but what if you just wanted the little R? So then I made a whole lot of little bits as well, cut from them, so you can see there's the sheet with the R's, and then I took a whole lot of just the numbers. So yeah, I'll pop that digital down the bottom as well. I took some of the addresses, so if you're interested in that, just in case you wonder where I got that guy from, these guys are literally just my Temu stamps that I've stamped onto different types of cardstock, and that's a Temu stamp as well, so I can't really copy those, but you could make this entire cluster out of those bits. So I think we did quite well today. We have our little slide see-through window. We have a finished page. I hope you enjoyed that and enjoyed hanging out with me. And if you have just joined us, don't think that you have come in too late. You might just want to make a page, one page, but the whole playlist is there if you want it. And for those of you that have purchased the kit, the the sky, I'll make sure that background page is, just in case you didn't use it to back that and you're struggling to find it. And I might just pop a couple of little labels in there for you as well as a little treat. I'll just cut down a PDF. So there you go. I will probably put some of those into the blank spaces on that one for you so that they're easy to just cut out and cut around, and then there's even less white space. I will probably hang something off there or just tie a ribbon. I just haven't decided yet, but there we go. So feel free to jump in, join us, come with us. Okay, my lovelies, until next time, mā te wā.